Yes. Now you may be wondering, why did this random kid just randomly say yes? Well, read the title. The question states, did pendulums ruin Yu-Gi-Oh? Or is the pendulum mechanic ruining Yu-Gi-Oh? I'll decide on the real title in a minute. But the question is the same. Do I think that pendulums are ruining Yu-Gi-Oh? And I've seen lots of discussions on this, some to an extent on Robbie's channel, and I don't disagree with him. I saw a lot of hate on his video in the comments, that he was salty that like he just can't beat the Pepe. I disagree. I don't think it's salt that he's mad. It's just a stupid mechanic. If you can't beat him, join him. But even if you join him, it's not even that fun because the pendulum mechanic is just stupid. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think pendulums, in theory, are a bad idea. I just think the way that they are organized is poor. And I think the idea that when they die, they go to the pendulum extract zone rather than the graveyard is the true reason why they're overpowered. I think if they left it as the scales and um, just the normal pendulum summon mechanic, it wouldn't even be that great. I think if they left it to where when a pendulum monster on the field in the monster zone is destroyed, when a pendulum monster is destroyed, it goes to the graveyard, not the extract. I think it'd be okay if a pendulum spell is destroyed, it goes to the extract. So if you have a perform repel magician in the spell zone, the pendulum scale zone, and it dies, I'd be okay with it going to the extract. But when you have 5 pendulums on your field and you get Raigeki'd, and then next turn you can summon all 5 of them again, I think that's a little stupid. And I think that's what's kind of making Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if it's necessarily ruining it, but it's making it really, really stale. Because nowadays, like, I know I sound like one of those people like, oh, back in the day, you used to have to, like, think in your plays. Well, they're still thinking, but it's a lot less. And the reason why that is nowadays, you can summon 5 monsters in one word. Pendulum. 5. So that's 2 words. But the fact that you can special summon 5 monsters off of one, basically summon, every single turn is kind of ridiculous. And the fact that that doesn't really take much thought either. You just see 5 monsters and you summon 5 monsters. I think that's pretty stupid. And that's why I think the monster pendulum, so when you have a pendulum in the monster zone, it should have went to the graveyard, not the extract. I think that's a bit ridiculous. Because basically now you have a thing where when monsters die, when they're synchroed, when they're fusioned, you can use them again either that same turn or the next turn, and over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that's kind of stupid, and it makes it a little redundant. And any deck that doesn't that doesn't pendulum summon is too slow now, because we're at a point where if you don't pendulum summon, you have to counteract the pendulum summon. That's why we see Monarchs doing really good. Cosmo, I put Cosmo in a different lane because even though it doesn't have the pendulum mechanic, it has really stupid mechanics on its own that are really overpowered in its own right. So I'm going to talk more about just, I don't understand pendulums and why they are how they are. Like, what about a pendulum? Does it keep on coming back and back and back? I don't know. I think pendulums in the clipboard form are okay. That's an extent, though. I think that's the worst they should have gotten. Pendulums in the... trying to think of cases where you perform PAL before Pepe, before the crazy Draco Slayers and the crazy performer PAL like G-Turtle and Monkey Board. Like, let's say just Plush Fire and the other one came out, the 5 and the 3 scale. I don't think that would have been a problem. But the fact that they made the other pendulums that abuse those pendulums is a bit ridiculous. So I'm not really sure how I feel about all this because, in a way, I feel like it's ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! In another way, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has to evolve, and this is just the way it's evolving. I think Konami just needs to outright ban Draco Slayer, Luster. I think that card's ridiculous. The fact that you can destroy a scale, get the same scale, it's a free +1 that happens every turn. It's really stupid. I'm saying stupid a lot. I actually kind of don't mind some of the pendulums, like Magispector, like Clipport, even though they're really annoying. Like stuff like that. Like Pendulum Magicians even aren't that bad. Like there's ways to beat around them. But with Pepe and all those cards that whenever they die, you get an effect, and when you get an effect, you get more. And then you can just bring it back and then get another effect. Like Magispectors, they have an Achilles heel. They can't really get over anything that's above 1800 attack. And they kind of need 2 scales to get going. So, in that way, that's that. And Pendulum Magicians don't have that big defenses. And even with Pendulum Magicians, you need to have 2 scales at once. You can't get scales out of nowhere that easily. There's the Pendulum Call, but that's it. But with Pepe, it's just like ridiculous. And there's really no thought process behind it. And I don't think pendulums are ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Pepe and the crazy pendulums are ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Ignites, like the new whatever those metamorphosis cards are. Those are okay. I think that's a really interesting way to use the pendulum mechanic. But Pepe, it's ridiculous. There's too many cards doing too many things for too little cost. And it's just stupid in a way. Like, even Dragon Rulers, there wasn't much process thinking behind it, but even then, there were ways to get, like, ways around it almost. That's why spellbooks were good. But with Pepe, it's like, even if you have the best turn of the whole game and you destroy every single thing they have, next turn, all they have to draw is one monkey board. Monkey board gets Gi Turtle. Pendulum summon 5 monsters from the extra deck. 3 of those monsters at least will get an effect. And it's just crazy from there. So that's why I think it's ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! I wouldn't say pendulums are ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think the obsessive destruction effect pendulums like Pepe and the Draco Slayers are ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! So comment down below. Tell me what you think. I don't think pendulums are ruining Yu-Gi-Oh! I just think the craziness of the mechanic is. So I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.